Test 1 2. All right. We're in the building. AC Sports Live. Episode 226, Season 6, 25th day of November. The Lord's year 2025. Hope you had a blessed week. I know I am. No school till Monday, and then after Monday, a couple weeks, and then winter break for us educators. The beauty of being an educator are the long breaks. And as long as they're trying to move the first semester before the winter break, they're pushing everything back to make sure the winter break is the end of the first semester. So it's a beautiful thing. I can't complain one bit. All right, tonight's show. My Eagles, as we used to say, smoke off a victory, trick off a victory to the rival Dallas Cowboys in epic proportions. We'll talk about that. Jameis Winston is must watch. Shedeur wins, gets slighted by his coach. Delaware State comes up short in the MEAC title game. We'll talk about that briefly. It's Situation Tuesday for Long Beach Poly football and UCLA football, my two alma maters. I'll put my little spin on things, and the tender love report comes from the Colorado State football game. One from the refs, one from a player, which happens to be a former Jackrabbit himself. And my Turkey Bowl warning for all my old heads, all my unks. It's a warning from Coach Cobbs. Rubio's in here. It's showtime. I got to watch your replay, man. I heard you had Nasty on the show. Got to check Nasty out. Some of your topics were pretty interesting. I'm going to go check them out on the Rubio method. All right, let's get this show going. I'm AC. You're the peopleization. Let's go.
You're quite hostile. I got a right to be hostile, man. My people been persecuted.
All right. Today's show, once again, brought to us by Electro Gum. Supplies are now available. Go to Electro Gum on Instagram. Try Electro at Try Electro. Use the promo code Dragon41. That is my son's college football NIL partner, Electrolyte Gum. First 10 peopleization to purchase a pack of Electro Gum, I'm going to bless you with an AC Sports Live t-shirt. Just show me your pack of gum and I'll send you an AC Sports Live t-shirt. That sounds like a deal to me. This show is also brought to us by All In CDL Training, the future of commercial driving. So now, the new year is upon us. It's going to be a lot of New Year's resolutions next month. One of those resolutions should be a new career where you can make six figures. You're tired of working those minimum wage jobs, getting paid 25 racks for the entire year when you can make 25 racks for one trip. Get your Class A license, man. Get on that. There's opportunities right now. They will only accept those who have their Class A license on some of these jobs that are high paying, great benefits, time off, make your own schedule type of jobs. And you don't have to always be a truck driver. You may be working for a company that just needs you to have your Class A to drive in the yard. And you go home every day. Or you could be a across the country type of driver if you like your freedom out there in the road. That's possible too. Do something with yourself this year, man. All in CDL Training, located in Long Beach, California. Check them out. All right, man. So just jumping right into it. Eagles drop one to the hated ones, the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm sure Happy Boy will be in here shortly. I owe him $2. He said I owe him 2, but he owes me 4. So that just knocks off 2 of the 4 that he owes me. So now I'm in his pocket for $2. Remember, I have 1, 2, 3 $2 bills on my wall. A couple of those are Happy Boys. 2 others I think belong to let's see, who else bet me? Was it Brother Neil? Brother Andre? Somebody gave me those $2 bills. And they weren't all Happy Boy. But you know, I take my money where I can get it. Pay me in dimes if you can. I appreciate you. 21-0. The scene is set. I'm at my father-in-law's birthday get together after church in the Morgan Hall, Fellowship Hall, watching the game. We're up 21-0. You know, I'm grinning ear to ear. We got 21-0 in the halftime break. And we haven't even started to run the ball yet. I was having flashbacks of last year when we could just run the ball. When we were playing the Rams in the snow and we had to somehow or another keep that lead. We just began to feed Saquon, misdirection, off tackle, bounce plays. This year, 21-0. We allowed the Cowboys to come back and beat us 24-21. 24 unanswered with a few bonehead mistakes. 3rd and 2 sack, returning a punt from the 2-yard line, which you should have let that ball go in the end zone, and then you fumble, and our trusty kicker can't kick a field goal. In the Jerry's World Dome. Can't have it. And not scoring in the second half for a team that has all the weapons you need. Jalen Hurts played almost a perfect game. A.J. Brown got the ball, got the touches that he wants. Devontae Smith got the touches that he wants. And we lose. So rewind, flashback, go back to when we were fussing about Jalen Hurts not getting the ball to his playmakers. And all he said was, we got the W. And that's what's wrong with my fellow Philadelphia Eagles fans. Is it about winning, or is it to make sure our divas are happy? Is it to make sure we have the highest rated quarterback and the highest yardage receivers and the highest touchdowns by our receivers and our running back is the best in the league? We get the numbers for the receivers. We don't get the win. And it falls back on Kevin Patullo, of course, our OC. And I think he is in over his head. He looked like he had a decent game plan for the first 20 plays, like most OCs do a script for the first 20 plays. And then after that, they go back to what worked previously, and they throw those plays in based on situation. That's one way to call plays. I believe the really good ones plan the entire game with options. Every single play has an option based on what the defense does. So you don't stay in plays that are not advantageous versus defenses that are built to beat those types of plays. So the Cowboys made an adjustment defensively, and the Eagles did not. George Pickens was their main guy because we had Quinyon Mitchell over CeeDee Lamb, taking him out the game and making CeeDee Lamb have the droppies. With that being the case, many of those third downs, CD wasn't even in the game. It was George Pickens versus Adoree Jackson or Cooper DeJean. Well, he wasn't playing like a Jean. He was playing like a Gene, and getting beat a couple times. One time by CeeDee Lamb, a couple times by George Pickens. Now, George Pickens is an elite receiver. I'm not mad at that. They weren't getting beat like they weren't in the shot. He was just bigger and stronger than them, taking the ball from them. Now, that goal line touchdown where Adoree Jackson was in the end zone and he got routed up for a quick out, there once was a time where you better not run a quick out on the goal line because a defensive back is going to jump right in front of it because he's not going back up. Well, Adoree Jackson was 3 or 4 yards deep in the end zone. No chance. He's been playing a lot better, but we saw that one coming. Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles saw that one coming. Not a good look. But hey, a lot of us Eagles fans have long-term memory. And we remember a few years ago when we had 10-1 and got booted in the first round of playoffs because we saw the dysfunction just like this. So we all called the Cowboys are probably going to beat us with their 5-5-1 record, whatever their record is. And they snuck up and beat us. We had a chance to put them away. We just did not. You have to put your foot on their throat to make sure they're dead, and we did not. So shame on us. We deserve to lose. Still in first place. Now we lose first place home field to the Rams, which we have the Rams tiebreaker when we beat the Rams with that big field goal block by Jordan Davis. But right now the Rams are the cream of the crop in the NFC. And surprisingly, the Patriots are the AFC contenders. So the NFL season with 6 games left. We'll see. And then my fantasy league, I got 2 games left. I'm going to miss the playoffs in a couple of my leagues. First time in my life that I'm missing the playoffs in any league. I have a chance in the anti-league, Sweet Brother Noomsy. And that's the big money league. I have to win these last 2. And then our poor man's league, I'm in them playoffs. I'm going to make that one. My church league, I think I'm going to make that playoff. I'm going to miss the playoffs in the war zone. Lonnie Grimm, Sherman, Amos, all the homeboys from the war room. It looks like I'm going to miss the playoffs. So you guys get to have your little party that the king is no longer here. Oh, well. Did y'all see Jameis Winston? Jameis Winston is must-watch TV, man. I love watching Jameis Winston play because he has a joy for the game. Did I bring it in? Where'd it go? He just enjoys the game. He scored a touchdown and he looked like an athlete. And we forget that Jameis Winston was a Division I baseball player too, that could pitch and throw. So it makes you wonder how good of an athlete. He said he could play tight end if he wanted to. But this play right here.
As Olszewski throws, it's caught. Olszewski with
the back shoulder. And this sadly, last week he was doing the Harlem Shake. This week he's doing the double reverse quarterback leak out. Adjusts to the football, makes a bona fide tackler miss in the open field with the finger roll in the end zone. Hey, Jameis Winston is must watch, man. He might be a little bit much sometime. But you have to love his enthusiasm for the game, his pregame speeches, his in-game abilities, and his celebrations. He doesn't take the game so serious that he can't have fun, knowing his team is in the cellar. His team's not going to win, but he still has enough passion for the game to perform. He can still throw it. Apparently, he can catch it. He is a must-have backup on your team. You have Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson, and Jameis Winston in New York. And now without Brian Daboll being all stuffy, he could be himself, and he is having a good time. The Giants are a must-watch. Speaking of must-watch, that kid in Cleveland, and you know who I'm talking about. One of the most popular players in the NFL. Shedeur Sanders gets his first start. They win versus the Vegas Raiders. No, they did not beat the Super Bowl champs. No, they did not beat the division leaders. They beat the Raiders. But a win is a win in the NFL. And Shedeur Sanders' first start with 3 practices got the win. Of course, the Shedeur haters are going to belittle his accomplishment. But I'm going to tell you right now, I ordered my Shedeur jersey. I'm pulling for the young man because I saw what he had to go through. But the way he's carrying himself, I have nothing but admiration and respect for this young man. Knowing that he's been blackballed, he's been sabotaged. I watched Bryce Young play last night, and we all like Bryce Young, but I don't think Bryce Young is Shedeur. And that's not just about aura and popularity. Bryce Young scares me. He's so small. Shedeur has everything you want in your franchise quarterback. His coach, I don't want to say the H word, but it feels like it. Feels like Kevin Stefanski hates Shedeur Sanders and can't stand that he's on this team. Listen to the post-game interview. Well, not interview, post-game talk by their head coach.
Offense wasn't perfect. How about that big play by Sam at the end? IB, huge play. Q, huge play. Harold making a big play. And then another rookie making his first start. Nice job, Shedeur. Well done. There's that old saying, save the best for last. How about that fucking defensive performance? Yeah.
It took him everything in his power to squeeze that out. How about the other rookie, Shedeur? Good job. Real quick, I've been on a few teams in my life, and all my buddies that have played sports, you've been on teams. Somebody's first start, especially a quarterback, and plays well, throws 3 big balls down the field. 3 big balls down the field. One of his balls was a now route, so that's not the same. But the deep ball he threw under pressure. You give that kid a game ball, man. You don't snub him like that. You don't demean him like that. Kevin Stefanski. Let me say it right. Kevin Stefanski should be fired. And I don't like to call for nobody's job. I know people have livelihoods and mortgages and wives and kids, but he'll be fine. He'll get his contract. This man was asked, will Shedeur start next week? I'm not thinking about that right now. We're going to wait and see. And then the next day he comes out saying Shedeur is starting next week. What is the dilemma? Why don't you like this kid? You wouldn't train him. When someone asked for him in a trade, you want a 2nd round pick for a 5th round pick that you already wasted a 5th round pick on a kid you don't even like. That we all like. The number of number 12 jerseys being sold is incredible. Again, why do you hate Deion Sanders so much that you would do his son like this? All he's done is work. All he's done is proven that he belongs. All he's done is won his teammates' approval. Did you see the response of his teammates? They've been seeing it in practice when he's going against the 2s and 3s. How come that kid over there is not playing? You ask yourself, why the coaches are doing them like that? Because we got some bad coaches in the world, period. bad coaches in the world. They're not there for the development of players. They're there for their own ego sometimes for a paycheck. Chip Kelly got fired this week. Not surprised. It's firing season. Oh, Lord, there's Happy Boy. You missed it, man. I gave you all the props, all the Cowboy praise. You and Big Time. Mello. Who else is over Cowboys fans on here? They tight. Y'all take y'all Super Bowl and go on to Cancun. We'll see y'all second round of the playoffs in Cancun. Because if we keep playing like this, we will be in Cancun too, watching the playoffs. Shedeur gets another shot. We'll see how they do. I think this week is against the Niners, and it will not be as easy as it was versus the Raiders by any stretch. We shall see. In other news, moving on, the person that is the partner of Electrogum, Alexander Cobb's, his team, Delaware State, they came up a little bit short in their MEAC championship game this past Saturday. Uniforms were fresh. They were out there looking like they was ready to handle some business. Too many mistakes early in the game. We had a pick six. We had a red zone interception. Cannot have that versus South Carolina State in the championship game. Can't happen. Can't happen. Made the game interesting, but still came up short. So now what? Deshaun Jackson, the head coach of Delaware State, brought a terrible program to prominence in one season. The last two seasons, they were 2-22, having won one game per the last two seasons and haven't had a winning record since 2007, if I am correct. If not, correct me. It's been a long time. And with that success, on top of what Coach Prime has done in the last 5-6 years, culture. These men are changing culture, which overshadows experience and overall results. Like, Coach Prime has brought millions upon millions to the city of Boulder, and they haven't even come close to a Big 10, Big 12, any of those different conferences that the Buffaloes have played in during Coach Prime's tenure. But the place is packed out even when they're losing. So with that, it's not too far-fetched that with the success of head coach Deshaun Jackson at Delaware State, that he would get tapped on the shoulder to interview for his alma mater, the California Golden Bears of Berkeley, who have fired Justin Wilcox after 9 seasons. He goes under 500, former player, was doing well at one point, couldn't get it together. Now you look at an alumni who creates buzz, who recruits players. Could he translate what he did at Delaware to Berkeley? Totally different demographic. Totally different student athletes that he would be able to recruit and not be able to recruit. The GPA requirements, the academic requirements will be a lot different. The UC system is not anything to play with when it comes to academics and eligibility. Not saying that wasn't the case at Delaware State. I'm just saying it will be a lot different. But the opportunity, if it presents itself, you can't be mad, Delaware State. If that opportunity presents itself, you got to take the interview. I told Coach Deshaun Jackson and Coach Travis Clark when I first had this hunch, when my son was getting courted and we were in the offices and my wife and I were sitting in Coach Clark's office, and I says, hey, you know how fast this stuff works. You guys have a great season. Coach Jack gonna be asked to go somewhere else and you probably be the head coach here. He said, hey, anything's possible. Well, guess what? We're here. This is what's about to happen. I called the same thing at San Jose State with Brent Brennan. My wife and I sat on his couch. I says, now, Brent, you and I go back like car seats. If you get a call from UCLA, are you leaving? He says, this is my dream job. I don't plan on going anywhere. That next season, the chips fell in his favor and the University of Arizona calls with a deal he could not turn down. So all that loyalty and all that dream job, all that I'm glad to be here goes out the window because opportunities don't come every day. So I think anything is possible. The kids had their exit meetings. They want the kids to designate if they're going to stay or be in the portal all early after the season. Everything takes prayer. And anything's possible. I think the best thing that Coach Jackson could have said to the kids is, I'm not sure who's going to be here next week. If I'm going to be here, if you're going to be here, nobody knows anything. Just make sure you take care of yourselves and have a good break. It's that time, man. Who does UCLA hire? It's Situation Tuesday. Jump right in. UCLA football gets crushed, gives up 50 basically to Washington. And this is not the best Washington team that I've ever seen. But they look like the best team because UCLA play like everybody has our plays. The magic of Jerry Neuheisel has worn off. The slipper is gone. We are now in reality. We are no longer a secret. Coach Timmy Skipper is not him. Coach Jerry Neuheisel is still young. He's getting out-coached. We're not scoring very many points. So this is USC week. I haven't even posted my usual annual UCLA picks on my profile. That's how low our pride and alumni support is. This is SC week and you haven't heard a peep out of us Bruins. Even us Bruins who never lost to USC. We forgot to post and say, hey, this is that week. Let's get going. That's how low morale is. I want to go up to practice and see what's going on and see if they have the sauce to compete this year. With Nico Iamaleava, and you know I destroy names, y'all, so please forgive me. Nico, forgive me. With Nico at quarterback, we have a chance. But USC has probably the two best receivers in the Big Ten, next to the two receivers at Ohio State, and Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane. We might get beat by 25 or more if we don't come to play and slow the game down. But the situation is this. After the game, everybody gets fired. Well, just not renewed. They're interim. Who do we bring in to head coach this team? Or do we spend too much time trying to find a new AD? I think we should do the former first and foremost, get a head coach, start the recruiting process, get some kids that want to be Bruins, not just kids who want a few dollars. Get some kids that want to be in Westwood and who want to have some pride about it and win. Now, we can't afford to get the same guys that Texas A&M gets, the same guys that Ohio State's getting. We got to be strategic. They got to be good students. They got to be dogs. Long Beach Poly also has a situation where their head coach has stepped down. So we have a leaderless program at Long Beach Poly. And I'm in a few chat groups, and I appreciate the love and shout outs that I should apply once again to be head coach at Long Beach Poly. I don't see how anybody can rebuild a program without an allotment spaces for transfers, regardless if it's for sports or academics. Any program that's competing with private schools who have that luxury that they can let anybody into school that they want, as long as they pay tuition. They can be from Rancho Cucamonga, they can be from Palmdale, but they can still go to Bosco. Whereas Long Beach Poly is usually impacted with students in the area. However, out of 5,000 students, there should be enough room in every sport for a certain number of student athletes who want to benefit from that program. And if it's for the sole purpose of sports, why not? We're talking about a young person's high school experience. Instead, the CIF is banning and punishing kids for their parents trying to get their student athletes a better shot at a scholarship. What are we doing? If we get a powerhouse for 3 or 5 years, so be it. But if you allow everyone to do it, then the playing field will be a lot more level. Wilson beat Poly this year. Milliken beat Poly last year. You got the parity you want, but now those teams are going to be under investigation because the players that are playing, the parents whose kids aren't playing are going to get mad because more kids are checking in because they want to be part of a winning program. They're going to check those addresses. They're going to see those addresses are not necessarily always accurate, and then they're going to be on probation, under investigation, and then there'll be a problem, and then you'll be on the same situation as Bishop Montgomery, the same situation as Narbonne a few years back. So if I take the Long Beach Poly football job, I can't win without kids. So will I be seen as a cheater when I'm not recruiting? I'm just selling that I am the new head coach. And if you want to be supported academically, you want to be supported athletically, and you want to be a part of the greatest high school football program in the history of this country, come to Long Beach Poly. I'd be in trouble for saying that. That's undue influence. I cannot say you should come to Long Beach Poly. Then how else do you build back a power? How else do you get kids to come to your school if they don't live in the area? That whole thing about living in the area of your school, your home school. People aren't having kids like that anymore. Back in the 70s and 80s, we were all in the area. Today's millennials, Gen Zs, they're not having kids like that. And then when they do have kids, those kids are spoiled. They're not raising kids who are yes, sir, no, sir. These kids got something to say. They suck their teeth and roll their eyes. These kids are different. So how can you build a program that has been taking the black eyes that Long Beach Poly has been taking? We were Division 4 our last championship. We used to beat Bosco. We used to beat Modern Day. The situation is this. Will we ever be able to return to glory? In this climate, in these restrictions, in this situation, no. Until CIF allows schools to soft recruit for the purposes of sports, whether it be track, football, basketball, baseball, soccer, volleyball, water polo, whatever. If that school has a program, we got to treat it like college. The kids are getting NIL deals in high school now. So why can't all high schools have the same freedoms that a college would have? Come to Northwestern here in Chicago, even though you live in Los Angeles. Come to UCLA, even though you're from Washington, D.C. This is the education that you want. That's how it's being ran. So why aren't the high schools being ran that way? You have a program that can elevate what you want in your life at this moment in time. Isn't that what college does? Isn't that how a kid from California goes to Harvard? But high school, you can't do that. So the question on the Sports Talk group was, well, how come Centennial Corona is still good? They've built a program and they get 20 transfers per year. So we have to ask the Corona Unified School District, what are your restrictions on transfers, if any? The neighborhood has changed, the kids have changed, but us parents who move away, have kids, we can't even get our kids in on legacy. Mike G in here. OG, doesn't that make sense? Like if the new offers are the public and private schools, like I saw a 8th grader with 5 private schools and 1 public school on his potential high schools of which ones he's going to attend. And he had a whole ceremony where he picked a hat and said what school he's going to go to. So the kids are aspiring to go to high school, not aspiring to go to college until it's that time. Which high school are you going to go to? Well, you got to go to a high school that's going to accept you in. Enrollment. Can you enroll in certain schools? There has to be some regulations. My proposal is this. As an 8th grader, you can go wherever you want. Camps are allowed as far as recruiting. Kids camps, you throw kids t-shirts, you tell them you're watching them, you offer them a place on the football team when you get to high school, just like college. And the kids commit to a high school. Once an 8th grader commits to a high school, they attend that high school. If they transfer, their first transfer, you lose 3 games. Your second transfer, you lose 5 games. And God forbid you transfer a 3rd time, you only get to play the final 3 games. Something crazy to prevent a 3rd transfer. We don't even want any transfers, but we know things happen, especially at the quarterback position. But there has to be something done, man. A certain number of transfers per year and a certain number of transfers per your career. They should not be banning kids for no 2 years, no matter what is going on. We're talking about permanent damage to a kid's psyche. It's not that serious, man. We're not talking about boxing and hurting each other. We're talking about a kid playing football, in which they have a 1% chance of going to college. That percentage jumps up when they go to a high school that puts kids in college like Poly, Mater Dei, and Bosco. Happy Boy says, it's called regulations. I hate them, whether business or high school football, and California leads the nation with them by almost 50%. Regulations, man, is a loaded word. Why are those regulations in place? To prevent powerhouses, in my opinion. To prevent the powerhouses from getting too powerful. To prevent the 55-0 scores. Can we all agree that West Coast football was better when Long Beach Poly was on top? Or at least at the top, close to the top, competing? We always could count on one public school being at the top. Now we got every single Long Beach school getting beat in the first round. Thanks, district. Thank you, regulations. Regulations that don't apply to Mater Dei and Bosco and Centennial Corona. Centennial Corona had over 100 kids. Long Beach probably had 48. Make that make sense. We still got 5,000 students with 48 kids on the football team. That was the smallest sideline I've ever seen Poly have. It was sad watching them games, man. Situation Tuesday, man. It's going down. Speaking of Poly players, did you see the Colorado State football game? I don't mean to jump on my man, but we've been talking about this lately. Why are we spitting? Darius Curry.
If he saw what we saw, the frustration, right? The shove from Bergen Morgan. But then you just don't spit at people. If he saw what we saw.
Darius Curry was a quarterback at Long Beach probably a few years back. And he got frustrated versus Boise State and spit in his opponent's face. I don't know where that comes from. And I don't know why the punishment and repercussions don't resonate and it's not at the forefront of your mind before you do such a thing. You'd be better off just pushing them in the face mask. We can accept that. You can survive that. Push him real hard in the chest. Push him down. Run full speed up to him and hit him. Spitting is such a soft and petty response to something you're not happy with. Especially if you're not going to fight after the spit. Like, it's supposed to be, we fight now. Spit in somebody's face, and after that, you guys have to fight. You spit and run away. Oh man, I don't want to tear nobody down, but that's not what we do. Now you got to deal with suspension. Now you got to deal with the possibility of losing your scholarship. That ain't what we do. The second send to love of that game was a referee getting his
Kennard, it's loose.
Getting his willies off calling taunting for 3 strides of a high step. They take away the touchdown. 15 yards from the spot of the foul, no touchdown. And I'm looking at it, and what if he just pulled a hamstring and was trying not to pull his hamstring? Is that a penalty too? I can't stand when people, especially when it ain't about you. Ref. This happened to my son's team earlier in the season when the ref was upset that the player didn't give him the football, and he ejected the quarterback from the game and changed the whole outcome of that game. I don't care about Colorado State versus Boise State, but when I see a call like that, something's not right. That almost seemed cultural. That almost seemed like you don't want anybody with some swag, anybody with some flavor and some seasoning to enjoy the game. There's no one around for Boise State to be embarrassed. He was not taunting the team. He was simply strutting to his touchdown that he earned. Not a Boise State Bronco in sight. So why is that no touchdown, 15-yard penalty? Tender love, man. I don't like it. Don't like it one bit. Have y'all seen the Kenyon Martin versus Draymond Green situation? Draymond Green said Kenyon Martin was an underachiever, didn't accomplish much. So Kenyon Martin had to run off the list of things that he's done when he was with the teams that he played for, the Nets and the Nuggets. And then he goes back to say, Draymond, I can count 200 power forwards better than you. And I was like, yo, he goes power forwards. And I'm not even going to name myself. He said, Giannis better than Draymond. Yes. AD, yes. Dirk Nowitzki, yes. Charles Barkley, yes. Kevin Garnett, yep. Tim Duncan, yep. Dennis Rodman, yep. Karl Malone, yep. Chris Webber, yep. Amari Stoudemire, yep. Chris Bosh, maybe. In his prime, maybe. I don't think so. Chris Bosh is not a winner. He had to be carried. I think Draymond's biggest attribute is his winning. His addition to a group of players that know how to play, he can help them win. That one championship where he got suspended, that was the series that LeBron came back from 3-1. Without Draymond, Golden State didn't have a chance. So he does have qualities that make him very valuable. But is he better than Chris Bosh? In that category, yes. In skills, no. Skills-wise, Draymond's skills are pretty bad. Rasheed Wallace, better than Draymond, yes. Pau Gasol, yes. Elton Brand, push. Antoine Jameson, push. Zach Randolph, push. Carlos Boozer, push. David West, push. Jermaine O'Neal was a dog during his time. Jermaine O'Neal's better than Draymond. Sean Kemp, better than Draymond. Derek Coleman, better than Draymond. Danny Manning wasn't a power forward to me, but he was better skills-wise. Larry Johnson, better. LaMarcus Aldridge was better. Blake Griffin was better. Kevin Love, probably a push. Al Jefferson's a push. I don't see him as a power forward either. Drew Gooden, I don't think he's better than Draymond. Josh Smith carried teams. I think he's better than Draymond. Tim Thomas, push. Antoine Walker, push. Lamar Odom, way better, but he was not a power forward either. He was a stretch 3. Jason Williams, big Jason Williams, I think they were the same player. Horace Grant, I would say skills-wise is better, and he's a champion. Otis Thorpe, champion with the Rockets. Just as valuable to the Rockets as Draymond to the Warriors. Paul Millsap, nah. Juwan Howard, nah. David Lee, nah. Al Harrington, nah. Rashard Lewis, no. Kevin McHale, way better than Draymond. Nene, Popeye Jones, and Reggie Evans. All those are pushes to me. But majority of those names are better. What Draymond has is those championships. But he would not even be in the league had he not been on the Golden State Warriors. So I think Kenyon Martin has a point. You are a backpack guy. You were riding the backs of Curry, Clay, and Steve Kerr's team. So don't overthink or over celebrate yourself. I think it was I think you get what you get when you make those types of statements. I think Kenyon Martin did a whole lot for the New Jersey Nets. They went to the finals, I think 2 years in a row. He was an all-star. I think he's done his thing. Interesting stuff, though, nonetheless. As I wrap up today, it is approaching Thanksgiving. I don't necessarily like to celebrate Thanksgiving in the sense of what this country named it after, and that is the slaughtering of indigenous people, my people, Eastern Pequot Indians in Nantucket, Connecticut. So I call it harvest, happy family, whatever you're going to call it. We also had a tradition of the Turkey Bowl, where us old football players from the neighborhood would play some tackle football. As I'm watching these 37U videos, old heads go back out there one more time to play some semi-pro football, and I see them getting hit and falling and getting jacked up like they got no work tomorrow. My warning to you, all my old heads out there, this Turkey Day, this Turkey Bowl season. Don't do it. Don't do something that you're going to regret. Don't do something that you're going to have to go to the hospital to get corrected. If you decide to go out there and play in the Turkey Bowl, be mindful of what you've done recently. If you have not ran full speed, you should not be running full speed at the Turkey Bowl. Something's going to snap off. I promise you, something's going to snap off. The good Lord protected me this evening. I was going to go shoot some baskets. And this was around 4:30, right before my son's plane came in. I was going to shoot some baskets, get my shots up. But around that time, I know there was usually a couple guys in there playing 21 or doing something. So I go to a gym near the airport on Carson and Cherry. I go in there with my ball and my sneakers, and I go to where the court is, where we used to play the 5 a.m. Breakfast Club. Me, Tim Hood, Jerome Carter, Charles, Clutch, Bugs, all the brothers. We played at 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. before school. We were all teachers and all working somewhere. We all took it easy because we had to go to work. Turkey Bowl. Take it easy, brothers. I went to the gym knowing it was going to be a bad idea if I played. The gym turned the basketball court into a full-on weight room. It's called Lift. And it happened to the gym by my house. It must have just happened to the gym in Long Beach too. So there was no basketball to be played. So I went back to church, jumped on the prayer line, and didn't go out to play ball after all. Saved myself an injury. The Lord protected me from injury. He knew I was going to go in there and shoot, and they were going to say, hey man, we need one. And I would have played, and I would have got injured. And I would have missed Thanksgiving. It didn't happen that way. So don't fight the feeling. You want to go out there and play and pretend you still got it. Your lady is not going to be happy when you come all bandaged up with ice packs on your knees and your shoulders. Listen to your body. It's saying, hey man, you want to be all-time quarterback? That's cool. But you're not the middle backer you once were. You're not the defensive back you once were. You definitely ain't the running back you once were. So take it easy this time. Happy Boy said, drink some Hennessy and you'll make it. Turkey Bowl 2025. You know how banged up you're going to be after that? If I fall, how many of y'all have fallen recently? Like, have you fallen? Tripped and fell? You know the damage that can happen? You could be like Anthony Davis. Everything just fall apart. Like Dr. Glass. And then you're talking about somebody hitting you? When you're trying to run this direction and they try to hit you the opposite direction, the injuries that could happen, the force that's been put on your body. Play some chess, checkers, tunk, spades, Madden, 2K, anything else. Turkey bowlers, you've been warned. All right, man. That's my show. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me this evening. Once again, my Eagles drop a very winnable game versus the Cowgirls. Happy Super Bowl to y'all. That's y'all Super Bowl. We're going to try to make sure this ship doesn't sink. I think Sirianni needs to call plays. Just take the clipboard from Patillo and keep it pushing to the next game. We got the Bears on Friday after Thanksgiving. And we'll go with that. CP3 says, I tore my Achilles at the church picnic football game. There it is. I've seen more brothers go down. We had a church basketball game at Pan Am Park once. And my good brother, Pastor Wasp, tore his Achilles. I'm like, look, man, if you ain't changed directions in 20 years, don't try to change directions today. Take it easy. Church or no church. Family or no family. If you haven't been training, don't get out there and hurt yourself. Nobody's going to care. Matter of fact, they're going to poke fun at you for years to come. Remember that time Chris went out there and tried to play football and tore his leg off? I don't know why he thought he was fast. And I can't even front. I play football every summer with the kids. And I always end up running full speed for about 10 yards. And they say, man, you still fast. I'm like, no, that was quickness. Speed is like over 25 yards or more. Quickness, you can do it for like 2 or 3 steps. And still show that you once were fast. But now it's just a little bit of quickness. I have a few fast twitch muscles left. Not very many. I got about 2 or 3 bursts per day that I can run or jump really fast or really high. It's limited. And I realize that. So golf is my sport. I'm going to try to play around tomorrow. My good buddy Rich Hillenberg and some of the older brothers. Golf is my friend. All right, y'all. Until next time. Y'all be easy. Happy holidays. I'll see y'all next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. I'm out. Peace out. What do you say? Chris say, I hit the pastor with a quick swim move. Yeah, and the devil hit you with a quick sliceration of your Achilles. He's like, sit down, young man. Where you think you going? Sit down. All right, y'all, be easy. I'm out.